And as always, thank you for joining us. We very much appreciate your company here on Good Afternoon Adelaide. We've got a lovely segment with our good friend Karen Spatchcock. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
It's good to see you again. You're looking lovely.
It's lovely to be back.
Norman, I know you're Karen's a favourite of yours.
Oh, yes. Can't get enough of your good home cooking. I mean, I'm not cooking it myself, but, you know, my people are.
You're always a breath of fresh air around the studio. And I wanted to get your opinion on a very interesting piece I saw in the newspaper.
Oh, yes.
Now, let me just... It was... yes, there was a story, Norman, of a young man found trapped in the Bilo at Ferryden Park. Now, this man was trapped inside the supermarket for nearly 2 whole years and subsisted on probably the pre-packaged items in the supermarket, stayed alive, and it's a miracle, I suppose, that he lived.
It's quite extraordinary, and just putting to one side how this oversight could have happened, and the people at Bilo could have locked this man inside this building. Putting that to one side, it is a miracle.
Questions have to be asked of the people at Bilo, but you're absolutely right. It's a miracle of ingenuity, human ingenuity, of surviving on only what was available in the supermarket. And Karen, this is where you come in, because Norman and I would like to know, now how would you survive? Because you get sick of eating the same things again and again. There would be no fresh fruits or vegetables. They would expire.
And also, how long could you survive if he wasn't rescued? Or say, let's go get him, put him back in there. How long would he be able to live before starving to death?
Canned goods I would leave to the end.
Okay.
Some of the boxed material, boxed foods.
What about the fish? Leave that to the end as well, or get on top of that pretty quick?
I would probably eat fish early on.
I think there's no electricity. I mean,
no electricity.
In the case of this man, there was no electricity. The store was abandoned.
I think you would have to be quite strategic. You would want to go for the boxed materials first, then some of the fridge items as the fridges started to fail, then to the freezer items as they started to they would have lasted a bit longer, you see. So I would think, 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
With the human consumables in the supermarket.
The human consumables?
Well, yes, there's...
Are you saying we could eat the toothpaste, or...?
Toothpaste, ill-advisable.
Toothpicks.
No, Norman.
Some cleaning products, maybe? With a lemony hint. You could, flavour some of that fish you've cooked with the beautiful lemon dishwashing liquids, perhaps?
Well, I don't see any reason why that would not be a good idea.
Bit of a citrus burst.
Since you say the term human, I'm thinking maybe there's another source of food in the supermarket which you could cook with, and I'm speaking, of course, of the pet items. The pet food, the cat food, the dog food.
Yes.
The dog leashes. Some of them are leather.
Is leather edible?
Didn't you ever read about Scott's Antarctic voyage?
No,
at the turn of the 20th century.
No, it's all
they had to,
a bit too dry for me.
They ate their dogs, they ate their sleigh dogs, and then they ate the leashes, cooked them up.
I thought that was Shackleton.
Might have been Shackleton, could have been Mawson.
That's fascinating.
They're all basically the same story.
Not in Munson.
That is fascinating. So how would you cook up a nice leather leash or a belt or...
I don't know about leather leashes, but...
Big fan of leather.
There's the fish food could be used as a garnish.
Ah, yes.
Sprinkled on top, and the dog and cat food. You could make some sort of beef casserole, if you will, or a chicken doganoff. You could just mix it in.
Terrible. Here's a question. So, you could live about, what would you say, 8 years? 6 years?
Well, yes, about 6 years.
6 years just eating the people food. If you were willing to eat the dog food, a little bit longer. Now, here's the story. If you were willing to eat the dog food, would you want to save all of that till the end? Or would you want to spread it out throughout the decade? Because if you didn't spread it out and you were willing to eat it, those last 2 years of your life are going to be pretty awful.
I think I think I might be tempted every 3 years of consuming some pet food. Then that's enough time. Enough time would have passed. 3 years. If you're stuck in there, say, for 9 years, you've only had to do it in small chunks. No pun intended.
A small yearly chunk of pet food. So 3 years of human food, 1 year of pet food. But you can get through it because you've got 3 years of human food.
That's
to
right.
look forward to.
That's right. Not so chunky that you can carve it.
See, if it was me, I'd feel pretty foolish if I was eating all of the dog food and then I was rescued after, say, 5 years. I don't think I could live with myself.
I don't think you could live with yourself in those kinds of conditions anyway, Norman. You're too used to the silver service.
Well, one time I did get locked in my own pantry and I was in there for quite some time. It's almost as big as that Bilo.
Well, Karen, thank you very much. This has been a very interesting chat, but stick around because we haven't yet got your recipes, which I believe you've got some very interesting Eastern tastes to show us. So,
Yes, a taste of the Far East.
So if you stick around, we'll have Karen with some Eastern cooking. Delicious.